All right, good Sunday morning, everyone, and welcome to The Real Story. Many school districts are just days away from an in-person reopening, and they'll be doing that in, of course, a brand new normal this year. And we want to bring in our first guest, Jeff Leake, the president of the Connecticut Education Association. Jeff, it's always great to talk to you. Thanks for joining us on The Real Story.
And thank you for having me on. Thank you.
So Jeff, we're racing toward a fall reopening of the schools here, and I know that the CEA has called for a delay on those reopenings. Give me the thought process behind that.
So the thought process has been all along that we are trying to have the most successful opening in spite of all the obstacles that come before us with the pandemic and so forth. But and I've been having regular conversations with the Commissioner of Education and other educational leaders as well. But what we are finding out from reaching out to our staff and our locals is that many districts don't seem to be quite ready to open. There's concerns about making sure that they're going to have enough staff. A number of teachers have of late decided that maybe they can't go back. They've not been given the necessary ability to, for example, work remotely. So we're concerned about that. We're concerned about the training that needs to take place as we confront this entirely different and new school year. And we just want to make sure that, again, safety is the top priority for both students and the staff in all of our schools.
Jeff, what was your initial reaction to the guidance from the Lamont administration? I believe it was initially basically a 50-page memo or outline, whatever you want to call it. And how would you describe the dialogue and communication with the administration since then?
So we have had a number of conversations again with both the commissioner and one or two with the governor, not always directly with him, and Don Williams, our executive director, was on the committee that was looking at how to reopen best. So we were concerned from the beginning about the idea that we are going to try to get as many people as possible back in schools as quickly as possible. And not because we don't think that that's important to do that contact, that face-to-face intersection and so forth, but the bottom line that we saw was that school districts were simply not ready to have all their students back, to be able to follow the CDC guidelines, especially the one about distancing, especially the one about making sure that on the buses that are coming in, students are separated and so forth. So we were concerned, and I expressed that concern directly to Governor Lamont when he and I spoke more than a month ago now, as we were taking a look at how to reopen.
One of the things that the governor cites is a low infection rate, hovering around 1% across the state. Is the governor right? I mean, can you safely reopen schools as long as the infection rate is low?
So we are hoping that is exactly the case. What we're concerned about today, however, is the fact that in a number of places there's a concern about that. I'm specifically, for example, thinking about Danbury, where a little bit of a spike is going on. We're concerned about that. We're concerned about the folks who don't even know they have the virus right now and might be ready to go back, but are clearly going to be a problem if they walk back into school. So for us, again, it's all about the most successful opening we can have, given the situation that we're in right now. And I appreciate all that the governor has done to get us to the place we are with the spread of the pandemic and so forth. But again, we're concerned that things are going to change as we open up schools, and we're not quite sure who's got what and how that all might work out.
Yeah, so you have the mask mandate, you have the stepped up cleaning processes, the social distancing. It's going to be done a little bit differently everywhere. Every district is different. Every classroom is set up different. But I wanted to ask you about, do you have any assurances about ventilation in these schools? The governor floated the idea of some different upgraded HVAC systems. But many of these schools are antiquated. They don't even have air conditioning, and you have to be careful even how you use circular fans. So what's airflow going to be like?
That has been a concern of ours from the very beginning. And again, I would say that the governor and the commissioner are doing what they can to make sure that schools take a look at these situations and do what they need to do in order to make sure that they're changing what had gone on in many of our classrooms. Air systems in our classrooms have been a cause of concern for us for years now. Too many of our school districts, as you mentioned, are old. Some of them don't even have windows that open. So we've been concerned from the beginning. Just was on a call on Wednesday regarding some resources that the state is providing to take a look at what's going on in school classrooms and provide guidance about how to fix that. We are looking forward to that. What we don't know, however, is that every district has been able to take advantage of that and make sure that their classrooms have air filters and the technology that they need in order to ensure safety.
So, Jeff, let me ask you this. We've heard from teachers who have some level of anxiety when it comes to going back. Do they have any recourse? I mean, I know for them, a lot of them, it's in their contract. It says they can't strike. I mean, can they sick out? I'm not suggesting that they do, but what kind of recourse do they have?
We really don't have tried not to have those conversations, neither with our members or with the school districts that we represent, because we really, as I said, we don't want to have people think they're going to go back to school and then not go back to school, but we want to make sure we're planning. We called for a 2-week delay to make sure that, again, both professional development for teachers and the school system had the opportunity to make sure they had all the things in place that they needed to have. So for us, it's definitely all about making sure that we have a good opening, and we don't want to talk about job actions. I mean, hopefully we don't have to go there. I know that that wouldn't be good for students, teachers, or the community in which we teach.
Do you have any older teachers? Are you seeing a wave of retirements?
Yes, we are. In some cases, we think in some districts, perhaps up to 15 or even 20% of the teachers might decide at the very last minute they're going to try, but then they might just say, you know what, I can't do this. And for example, right now I know of 2 districts, I think it's Hamden and Trumbull, that are concerned about the staff that they're going to have available as they try to open up, and have delayed opening of school. So, and there's probably others as well. What we're seeing is our teachers are saying, look, I really want to go back, but I need this accommodation. I need to be able to say that I'm safe here. There's even 1 or 2 districts that haven't offered teachers the ability to say, go into school, but be in let's say, a private classroom with someone else looking over their class, being able to deliver instruction, but at the same time being safe themselves because of their own conditions that make them especially vulnerable to this virus.
And I know one of the other things that you guys are asking for is expanded remote learning options. What do you mean by that?
So in March, when this whole thing hit us, we clearly weren't prepared. Most districts, there were a few probably that were simply not prepared. We didn't have the technology in place. We didn't have the devices out to students and so forth. Again, I commend the Dalio Foundation and the governor for stepping up and providing funding so that the districts that are clearly in need of updated technology and so forth are going to be able to have that. Although we also know that right now, I think in some cases it's not going to be received by the first couple of weeks in school. So that's a problem right then and there. But again, it's something that we need to be able to do in case everything kind of falls apart again in terms of the virus and our teaching returns to all distance.
Yeah, and there seems to be this notion too that last spring digital learning was really just like an extended vacation for teachers. I can tell you that's not the case. I'm married to a teacher. She worked very hard. I mean, talk about digital learning and the challenges that presented.
We at CEA, we immediately began to assemble whatever experts we could find who had done some work and done some instruction via distancing. And so we put that group together. We had some webinars for our teachers to say, here's things to think about. Again, as you just said, teaching in a distance situation is not anywhere near like teaching with kids right there in your classroom. So we need to take all of that into consideration, and we tried to step up. And our teachers, I get so angry when I hear folks saying, well, a lot of teachers were on vacation or whatever. Boy, those are not the teachers that I've come in contact with. They were working even longer and even harder than they've ever worked before because they were dealing with the situation with the pandemic.
Jeff, I wonder if you've given any thought to this question. One of the things everybody's hoping for is a vaccine. That's what gives everybody hope going forward. If a vaccine does become available, do you believe that public school students should be mandated to take it in order to return to the classroom?
Yeah, we're all into making sure that people get the vaccinations they need. We were there on the debate that took place, was it last year? I'm losing track of time right now, but we believe that everyone who's in a school building and others as well should definitely make sure they have whatever vaccinations are necessary, but clearly making sure that we have this one as we go forward. And I know there's some concerns about that. I know there's folks who are claiming that they're more concerned about that than getting the virus. But from our point of view, for the safety of all, and especially other students and our teachers, that would be an important thing to make sure we have.
All right, and it just got a minute left, but I want to play devil's advocate here for our last minute. Delaying the start of the school year. Some would say that just means you'd start it later in the fall. The virus might even be more prevalent then. And wouldn't that mean teachers would ultimately have to stay in school at the end of the year longer? Well, from our point of view, no. What the delay calls for, again, is preparation, meaning are we ready? Are we ready to do this? We think it'll be worse to try to open schools and have that opening not be successful, have to quickly understand that the pandemic is flaring up, and then we have to call school as we did in the springtime. We want to make sure we're as ready as we can be to provide the safest opportunity, again, for students, teachers, and all school staff to be in there doing what they do best, which is teaching and learning and getting prepared for the future. We're going to have to leave it there. Jeff Leake, the president of the Connecticut Education Association. Jeff, thanks for taking the time. It's always great to talk to you.
Matt, thank you, and have a good one. All right?
You as well. Take care. All right, coming up next on The Real Story, it was back in May when a whistleblower warned Congress of what could be our darkest winter in modern history if we don't get the virus under control. But a lot has happened since then, and there is hope in the form of a vaccine. We'll be talking with a top medical expert from the Yale School of Medicine coming up next.